Welcome everybody. Those of you who are watching us from YouTube, Facebook Live, and those of you who are here, welcome to the Debkom virtual event. Let me just give you a quick overview of the platform. First, disclaimer for those of you who are joined from a mobile phone or watching us live on other platforms, you will not be able to join the debate or use some of the features like social lounge and raising your hands. So if you want to participate in the debate, please join from a airmate link and from a laptop or desktop preferably. And for the features of the platform, you'll be able to notice a raise hand option if you are joined from a laptop. Whenever we'll ask you guys to raise hand, uh, please raise hand and we'll give you access of the microphone and the camera. You can ask questions in the question section, which will also be at the right side of your screen, and you guys can talk and say something if you want to in the chat section. Before we start, please let me know if I'm audible to you, if my voice and video is loud and clear. Please let me know in the chat section. If I'm audible to you guys, please let me know in the chat section. Okay, I am. Uh, so let me just start with the introductions. Please raise your hands and I'll give you access of the mic and give a brief introduction of yourself, a name, what do you do, and yeah, that's it. Please raise hand. The option will be at the right side of the screen if you are joined from a laptop or a desktop. Welcome, Jaideep.
Hi Deepak, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good. Am I audible to you?
Yes, you are, but your video is not visible.
Uh, okay, Akash, I guess I have to update my browser and reopen it. So I'll be joining again. Okay, maybe because of that,
All right.
this is not working, or maybe okay. Just give me a moment. Yeah, now
Yeah,
I'm not visible. How are you? How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Hello. So okay, shall I start now?
Yeah,
Hello
you can start.
everyone. Hello everyone. Very good afternoon. I guess you all are doing very great today. This is Jadip Sharma, and I'm a PhD candidate in North European country known as Latvia. And right now I'm doing my PhD, and along with that, I'm engaged in a lot of projects. Also, I have my own two projects. For example, like you can consider them as a long-term startup plan of my own. And at the moment, this topic was like much more given weighted by me also. That's why we decided to go with this topic for today, which is based on education. And there are two sides of the topic for the today's discussion. Everyone is welcome, and people who are watching me and they are listening to me, and whenever they are most welcome to engage with their own thoughts and with their own perspectives for the topic that which has been selected for the day to discuss. And that's all from my side. And I guess you all are safe in the case of a pandemic and this current time. And I'm also safe here, good here, chilling around sometimes. Okay, so that's all from my side for the day.
Thank you, Jaideep. Uh, Please raise hand, guys. The option will be at the right side of the screen. We're taking the introductions for now, then we'll will tell you about the rules of the debate and start. We'll be starting the debate. Please raise hand. The option will be at the right side of the screen. And those of you who are watching us on YouTube and Facebook Live, please join through the Airmate link if you really want to participate and use some of the features of the platform. Okay, we have Pankaj Singh.
Hello, hi,
Welcome, Pankaj.
hi.
Hi, Pankaj. Your
Uh,
video is not visible.
okay, and how should I do it? Acha, okay, okay. Yeah, hi.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are audible.
So, I have to give my introduction,
You can
right?
start introducing yourself and yeah.
Right. So, as you see, my name is Pankaj, and I'm residing in Delhi. I'm right now. I'm preparing for the government sector exam, especially for the defense forces. And I think I've always been interested in like doing in debates and talking about the issues that's been happening around the globe and even the society. So after looking for this topic, I think it is very necessary, and even in this lockdown, education has been transformed a bit. So I think it is necessary to talk about it. I think I do have some valuable points. I would like to learn more from the people around to get more good and valuable information as well. That's why I'm here.
Pankaj, sorry to interrupt you, but your voice is on the lower side. I mean,
Okay.
yes, it's better now.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is, I just wanted to talk about this topic, and I wanted to learn more on the, from the people side as well, what the people views on this. So that's why I'm here, and even in this lockdown, education system has changed a bit to different perspective. So I think it's necessary to talk more on this and how you can we can give more solution to this problem. So and I'm wishing to learn more and more good points from the more attendees in this show. Right?
Uh, Thank you, Pankaj. Next, we have Harshal Sharma.
Hello, am I audible?
Uh, Welcome, Harshal.
Good afternoon, sir. Hello.
Please turn on your camera if you can.
Sir, I've been trying. Yeah, it's not turning on. Can I go on like this only?
Sure, no problem.
Uh, yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Herschel, and I'm a first year student in BTech Dairy Technology in the National Dairy Research Institute, Karnal. And yeah, I've been looking forward to this event. Just the other day, when I shared the link for this event with my friend, actually, we had a quite passionate conversation about this topic itself for about an hour. So, yeah, really looking forward to different views and perspectives. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Harshal. I'll be taking the mic now. And if we have any other attendees that want to introduce themselves, please raise your hands. And if you are joined from a mobile, please introduce yourself in the chat section. And if you have the access to a laptop or a desktop, please, it is advised that you join from that. Please introduce yourself in the chat section. And those of you who have a laptop, please raise your hands. Jayant, if you would like to participate, please join from a laptop or a desktop, as the features are not available on the mobile phone. If there's no one else, I'd like to share the topic with you guys. So the topic for this debate is the education system. So basically, it's two sides of the arguments. Should there be a gradual evolution towards a better education system in India, or does the current education system needs to be torn down to give way to a vastly different one? So it's basically, should we revamp the education system from scratch, or we should just let it be? So those of you who are in favor of this change, like building the education system from scratch, uh, I'll ask you to raise hands. You guys can raise hand. I'll give you access of the mic and the camera, and I'll reject everyone else. Then I'll ask the people who are in against of the argument, like who say that let the education system evolve on its own. You guys will raise hand. I'll give access to the first attendee that raises hand, and I'll reject everyone else. So these are the rules of the debate, and each attendee will get 4 to 5 minutes to speak or to give out his points, his or her points. And if you guys disagree, you guys can ask questions to him in the questions sections, and he will have to answer two of the questions. I'm gonna be taking a short break of 5 minutes, and not 5 minutes, like 2 minutes, and we'll start the debate. Uh, all right, guys, let's start the debate. And do not forget to stay for the networking session that will be at the end of this debate. And we'll start with the favor of the argument. Should we revamp the education system from scratch? Please raise hand who are in favor of this. Guys, we're starting the debate. Who are in favor of the argument? Like we should build the education system from scratch. Please raise hand. and I'll give you the access of the mic and camera. I'm telling you again, if you are not able to raise your hand, the reason is you might be joined from a mobile phone, and this feature is not available on mobile phone. Please join from a laptop. We have Harshal Sharma in favor of the argument. I'm giving you the mic, Harshal.
You are on mute. Hi. You're still on mute. Mute, you are still on mute. I think what's happening. Okay, now you are
Yeah,
unmuted.
welcome, Laksha.
Hi. So we are a upscaling company, so that's why we are very interested in education when it comes to because we are dealing it directly. It is in our business line, and as well as we are. Born in a family of teachers. That's why I'm blessed to be in education sector. My mother and father both are teachers, and uh, in even my grandfather is also a teacher. So we are from properly education family, and that's why when it comes to education, I have a very unique way of handling it. The first thing is that in India, the problem is still is that there is a skill. We have got that skill, but a Z skill is not there. Like we need a graphic designer who should be a perfect graphic designer, not a temporary graphic designer. We need a video editor who should be a perfect video editor, not a temporary video editor. So what is happening? People are learning the skills, but people are not learning it properly. Like we have a blockchain developer, but want a proper blockchain developer. We want a developer who can do anything. So that's the skill people needs. Industry need a specialist, not a temporary person. A temporary person cannot handle the job. A specialist can handle the job. So what is happening in India? The skills are not reached to that level, and it is because of the some online education company which has taken it to the profit, not to the education level. Like you can even go on Udemy. The Udemy is teaching every courses. But what is happening at Udemy? If you go and check it out, this like you can go and skip all the courses and at the end get your certificate. So that's very easy to get it. And also in between there is no practicals, nothing is there. So how a person can get a certificate at any cost you can giving a certificate, and just for 500 and 400 rupees you are making the education a business. That's the main problem that is happening. So people are learning from the YouTube, like they becoming a graphic designer and something, and at the end they are going for the jobs and getting a job, and it is making the sector bad, not a person bad. Is making a education sector bad. So that's we have to improve. We have to take at least bring the only genuine company, not every company who can make a profit and give the business. Now education system is a business, not a proper service to anymore. So we have
Okay.
to understand it. That's the problem which is happening.
So, are
And
you
the
in
grading,
favor?
yes, I am in favor. The grading system is okay. We have good grading setup. We have good education system. But the problem is with the education companies, not with the education system. Our education system well equipped. We have got Ved and everything in our systems. We have got Sanskrit, which we was teaching from the Hindu Rivaj, and that the people not talking about that anything. Though we have got as extra features like blockchains, AI, and other events are coming. You are also part of that. We are promoting that, and people are still not turning up. They're not still turning up, and they're still thinking that this is a will come in 10 years. No, this is come already. You are on the verge of that. Accept it and believe it. The India is doing is great, but the problem is with the peoples, not with the education system. When people will go and take their chance, they will get it. I think I have spoken now. You can
Okay.
allow someone else.
Harshal, it's not working with you. I guess your internet connection is not. I'm giving the access to Pankaj now.
I think what Lakshya said is very right.
Pankaj, make sure your video is visible and the voice is on the lower side.
I'm visible, right?
No, you're not.
I'm not visible. Yeah, then.
You are now, yeah.
So, like I was saying, I think after listening to
What just happened? Harshal, please raise your hand again. Yes.
okay. So,
Are
I
you in
think
favor of the argument? Should we revamp the education system or we should just let it be?
we should just let it be. It should be a gradual change in the education system, and we should not like tone down and start it from the beginning. Because as Akshay said that online education is a bad part, that people are not getting more skill. But I think that too has a reason, because online education is available for all. We all can like sit back home and learn from what all you want. But I think it's on a more on a negative side, because the old education system, like have been school education and colleges and all. I think it's more about the bond, the teacher and student bond. Like student used to go and be read. That's been happening for the history of the time.
Microphone.
Yeah. So that's been happening from the history of the time, and I think that should not be changed, because that bond is really important to learn something. And most important, talking about the education system, of course we all know that only 25% of the citizen of the country is eligible to smartphone. So we can't deny, change the whole education system to online platform or something else, because gradual changes needs
Sorry,
to be
Pankaj, we
there.
can't hear you properly.
Hello.
Yes, make sure that your mic is like close to your mouth because the volume is very less.
So, like, what I was saying is that the only 25% reach of the smartphone in the in our nation. So it's not possible for us to change the whole education system all over the online platform. And so gradual change needs to be done. I think like things happen right now. Up to 12th, there should be a regular education that is happening right now. But after 12th, we can change to another platform if there are any things that we can learn online. So that is the thing that needs. But yes, like smart classes that we going on in the school, right now. So this is changing to online platform, but the essence of that education, like bond, that is there. So I think that essence of that education system needs to be there. There should be gradual change, not be something that now it's gonna be online education program. And second most important thing about the experience. See, teachers on this regular education system and online education system have a very different experience. You can never find a teacher in the school at the time of school can revamp to the education platform. They can't, because the experience is not up to that one. So that is too important. And teachers are facing difficulties in this lockdown as well. Because teachers have been to online platform in their life, and now they have to teach students on online platform. So it's kind of a difficult task for them. Plus, most important is from the student side, self discipline think self-discipline cannot be attained in an online platform. At least you can't expect it from a kid. Because they're not gonna study while they, and most important discipline. Not just about the education; it's about the social impact with the student. Social education is also important. Discipline. If you go and sing national anthem every morning, that's where you teach about the patriotism.
Pankaj, make sure that your mic, yeah, because you're
Yes.
not audible and the audience is also saying that.
All right.
Please
All right.
keep the mic stable. Don't move it too much.
Okay. So what I was saying, it's not just the education that we get through your notebook and books. It's more education is about the social education as well. We interact with other students, other friends, the social attachment. We learn patriotism from school. We learn, listening to national anthem, singing national anthem. Then the discipline requires, and that is the important part of a student life. So that's all I'm saying. That they should gradually change, not change from the scratch point. That's all.
All right. So Pankaj gave his points in against the topic that education system should we should let it just evolve on its own. And I'm taking the mic from Pankaj now. And those of you who want to speak in favor of the argument that we should revamp the education system from scratch, please raise your hand. And Lakshay, if you are in favor of the argument, I'm giving you the mic right now.
Yes, I am in the favor of the argument because the reason is that the favor is that also we revive it from the let's it be as be. Because the reason is that the education system not needs to be changed. The first point we have to accept it. Education system is not need to be changed, but the teaching system should be there. Better adaptability of people should be there, and our education system is well insufficient to handle anything in the world. What is happening is right now is that the P is talking about online one. The online education is going to be the future. Now, even the PM of our India is saying, please go online and take it to tier 2 tier 3 cities, because what is happening in tier 2 tier 3 city, the schools are not there. There are schools, there are small panels, there are small centers which are not able to teach very good. Like if you go in a school like in a government school which is in a rural area, you will find that there is not proper facilities are not there, proper networks are not there. But now with the 5G and 4G, now with the help of Jio, everybody is getting a internet in their hand. Now they have a smartphone. The smartphone is now very cheap. Now there are 3,000, 4,000 phones which is coming up, and now even every people are purchasing the phone. Even if you go and ask a person in a rural area, they are also using a smartphone like a normal things. So now smartphone has become a necessity. Not a first day was a like a smartphone a luxury goods, but now they are necessity good. Everybody needs that. And after this COVID, it will increase. The sale has already increased. Everybody is seeing that now smartphones are becoming a necessity item. So what is happening? We have to take that ki online education is the future, because reason is that we have got a very good pool of teachers, but the teachers is not able to connect to the best education sectors. Like a teacher is teaching in the mechanical and he wants to connect to the rural area who is wants to learn mechanical, but net they are not able to connect because of the distance in India. Like he is sitting in Kerala and teaching teacher is sitting in suppose in Punjab. A Punjab teacher wants to connect with the Kerala one. They are able to communicate with each other in English, because English is a common medium language we have. So they can connect on English, but they do not have a platform till now because of the online education was not promoted. But now as online education is getting promoted and everybody is coming on online education, we are seeing that most of the colleges are now preferring online education rather than offline education, because the first thing is they will get a good quality of teacher. Second, they are getting a good content. Third, what is happening, they do not require infrastructures also. You can start online education college in your room. You can do it. You can have your laptop and connect all the servers and everything and make a proper system and teach the students in sitting on your room, and you can have a full-fledged college there. That's the online education college which is going to happen, and you can issue the degree based on the practical exam you have cleared. The exam portals are there, VR portals, AR portals are coming up. AirMeet is an example of visual communications we are having. Zoom is the platform. GeoMeet. There are so many platforms which are coming now. So now there is no problem in the net. Net is also working very fine. The Geo and Airtel, they're working their day and night to make the net perfect. Still, there are some problems. They will always be there. It happens in developed country also, not in India. That's the problem. We have to accept it. It happens everywhere. Internet is an issue which is will always be there. Right now, the usage on internet is increased. That's why it is also there. But when the people go and start going to offices and everything, the internet will only be used by the education sector only, because this is a sector which is good. This is a sector which is going to use internet for the at least next 2 years. And if it accepts it, if the India accepts the online education, then the online education will be the future of India. Because what will happen, the online education, like I am talking about our company. We are a birth venue, we are into upscaling, and we are doing online education. So what is happening, that people are coming, they want to have a live video sessions. They want to teach live from the sessions, or learn from the videos, learn from the YouTube videos, learn from the video lectures. They do not want to go and learn by themselves. That's the reason that people in India are not still not serious. They are like, just give me the job, just give me the certificate, and I am happy with the course. They do not want to learn the basics. They do not want to learn what is in the course. Yeah, if I am appointing a person in a blockchain, he should understand the blockchain deeply. A temporary person cannot do a blockchain job. That's the people have to understand. The colleges have to understand. The colleges are still teaching the blockchain in a like in a chapter. They are taking blockchain a chapter. Blockchain is not a chapter. Blockchain is a stream. You have to accept it. AI is a stream. IoT is a stream. Cybersecurity is a stream. Digital marketing for MBA is a special course. Content writer for MBA is a special course. Now what is happening, even community partners are getting trained nowadays, because startups needs a community partner position. So they are getting trained. Networking manager is a position which has got hired by many network managers which are looking for the startups. Now they are getting job in the network marketing. So it is a full-fledged course. Now, what's happening till now, the colleges are teaching them, but it was
Uh,
in a chapter base, not
Actually,
proper.
I'm sorry, I'll have to interrupt. The time is over,
Okay, buddy.
and we have a question for you.
Yes.
How can we go to tier 2 cities which only 27% people have phones in our nation?
So that's a good question, because what will happen, we can have that the we can have full-fledged screen there with the help of government. It will be a Zoom panel screens, like you can teach on the screen and the people will understand. And even in schools, we can also arrange a live virtual scenes. You can have a virtual screens, and like projectors and everything will be there, and you will teach them, and it will reach to the tier 2 and tier 3 with the help of the just
Okay.
basic internets.
Uh, Jadip
And
is saying, Lakshya, most of the things that you talked about is not related to the today's topic.
I think the most of the things are related, because that's the main education system we are talking about. No? We need to improve our
Uh,
education from depth.
okay. So I'll be taking the mic from you, and yeah. So guys, please stick to the topic, and please make it clear that which side are you on? Are you in favor of that we should revamp the education system from scratch, or are you in against that we should let it evolve on its own? I'm giving the mic to Pankaj.
All right. Hi. So I think it's not that easy how Lakshay pointed out that we can just put out a screen in the whole nation around, and we can give free phones to everyone, free laptops to everyone, and we can just change it to the whole nation.
Please make sure that your mic.
Right. So, because we have a big population that we need to understand. Recently, if we've been following the news, recently in Bihar, children are not getting even their midday meals. We have midday meal scheme, and this is a very I would say not a bad, but children are going to school so that they could get midday meal to eat. This is the condition for a country, right? Pointing out the wrong side of the
पंकज नो वन कैन हियर यू बहुत स्लो साउंड है
sound नहीं आ रहा.
एंड आई शुड क्लियर एवरीवन कि हमारा टॉपिक है कि एजुकेशन सिस्टम को कैसे इम्प्रूव करें उसके बेस को लेकर नहीं लाइक वी आर नॉट अपडेटिंग दैट वी आर वी आर फोकसिंग ऑन हमें चेंज क्या करना है एजुकेशन सिस्टम में, शुड वी चेंज इट और ऐसे ही रहने देना चाहिए? एनी टेक्नोलॉजी वाली बात, इट्स नॉट एवरीवेयर because 80% of the places in India are not so much highly technologized कि वहाँ ये सब चीजें हो. सो हमारा टॉपिक ये नहीं है कि एजुकेशन को अपडेट कैसे करना है या करें या नहीं करें. इट्स अबाउट एजुकेशन सिस्टम में क्या डिफिकल्टीज हैं. तुम्हें 6 से लेके 12 तक जो सिलेबस पढ़ाया जाता है, इज इट प्रेफरेबल? तुम्हें हर एक चीज जैसे जैसे दी जाती है, इज इट ओके विद आवर एजुकेशन सिस्टम? क्योंकि अगर हम बाहर जाके देखें तो इट्स वेरी डिफरेंट. हर जगह का, हर स्टेट का, हर कंट्री का एजुकेशन सिस्टम इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम अदर. Like UP में after 10th you have colleges and Delhi में after 12th you have colleges. We are talking about that education system, their syllabus, their method of hiring students or anything else, their marking system. We are not saying that we are using technology or anything else. So guys, please stick to the topic. The topic is what we should change the education system or not. It's not about technologies and all.
All right, I get you. I think that on that point as well, I think it's gradual changes need to be taken. See, we have all seen this. You know, we go to the practical labs are not that equipped in our nation. Most of the colleges don't even have practical lab. Most of the schools don't even have practical lab. All we have done is
Pankaj, your voice is not clear actually.
ये क्या होगा? All right, give the mic to someone else. Let me see what's the problem right now. Then I will come.
All right. So Jaideep is next. I'm giving the mic to you, Jaideep.
Hello, yeah.
Okay, Jaideep.
Hello, Deepak. Hello, everyone. So I was listening to the points of everyone that everyone said, and I agree with the points of Pankaj that he mentioned earlier, not now. And regarding the points that Lakshya included, like he totally went off the topic. Like he totally went off from the topic. Like what exactly we have to talk about here? Okay, so the first thing is I agree. I agree that we need a gradual change and a revolutionary one. We need a gradual and revolutionary change in the Indian education system because after after wandering like a lot of countries and schools and like you can say universities, I have come to the conclusion that Indian government needs to take their baton and focus on the credibility and the quality of the education, not just on the merit list or just the business perspective of Indian education. I would like to include a lot of points in this that Indian education lacks everywhere. It's not about the system. It's about how exactly it is implementing. It is getting implemented on the schools or on the students. So here are the things like we talk about technology and everything, but we always forget that from where we have come. We should not forget the base root from where we have come, and the base root is if the basic education quality would be better, and if we do a comparative analysis like on side by side, I don't know like if you can understand or not. For example, here is a school and here is also a school, and we have two schools over here, but one is public, one is private. And if we do the comparison between both of them, the facilities or you can say the quality of the education, why they are better in private schools and not in public schools that much with the majority. The reason is, as I would like to include one single point that I agree with the Lakshay that he mentioned that there are some teachers who are not that much dedicated towards their job. But again, I'd like to include one more point in this that just give me a moment. That
Jaideep, are you sure in saying that the Indian education system lack everywhere? Because हमारे education system, there are some difficulties, there are some lackings, but it's not that we are lacking everywhere. Is everyone satisfied with that point? What
No,
Jaideep has said?
I'm talking about the Indian education system, which should be changed, like the course that that they are
And you
teaching us in the
mentioned that
schools.
Indian education system lacks everywhere.
Yes,
And you
it does.
mentioned
It
that
does.
Indian education system lacks everywhere. Is
Yes,
there anyone
Indian
who
education.
can
No, that's what
Like,
I'm coming to the point. The reason, that's what I'm coming point. Why exactly it is lacking. That's what I said. And that's why I'm into the favor that we need gradual revolutionary change in the Indian education system. Okay, okay, you are asking me like how exactly I can say, or like I have been to 11 countries by now. I have met small people, from small people to bigger people. I have met a lot of young age group people. And if we do, like, if we, I'm not comparing a developed country with a developing country, because India is a very big country. All I'm comparing is the, like, you can say, what are the main points from where the education system lacks. It's not about the people who made it. It's not about the people who already made changes. It's all about the people who are like managing it as per their business. As Lakshay included one more thing, that these days, like universities or private schools, they are just making business. Okay, so that's the point I'm focusing here. That Indian government should take their baton to the like, they should focus to the quality education, like to the quality, instead of the merits or the numbers or the marks. Like, for example, there are several criteria, and there are several segments into this. If you go much more deeper into that, for example, I would like to include one incident in 2017, or I guess in 18. There was a panel. There was a full panel from India, and they asked the government to make many changes in the education system, but that thing was rejected. Okay, that's a different thing. That for what specific reason it was rejected, although, but still, we take a student from a public school and we take a student from a private school. Okay, you just you can see the difference between both of them. Like, I'm talking about what exactly they are not is about their niche domains, what exactly they want to do. Teachers, I would like to include, I don't know, because it's been more than 10 years that I have done my schooling. But whatever I hear from there, whatever I hear from the students that I'm into touch, like, even right now, if you go into a 12th standard book, like a CBSE book, the course which is included in that, it is still the code that we used to read 15 or 20 years ago. It is not changed. Nothing has been changed in that. A lot, like, they have already made changes into the books of history or something like that, but not exactly as. I would like to refer this sentence and include the statement of Lakshay, that we should, instead of like focusing on everything or business, we should focus on the quality. Next point, he mentioned about the education, like everything is going online and everything. I agree with this point that we don't need money to get educated, because everything is available for free on internet. But the main thing is, how exactly are you going to implement those free courses or everything on your real life? All I'm talking about, if we talk about, like, for example, there's a government school in India, okay, and any government school. If you will go and ask any student, okay, what are your plans? What exactly you want to do in future or anything? And you ask the same question to a private school student, there would be a drastic difference between the answers of both of them. And I would tell you, I would say, like, I won't use the word blame, but I would say that the responsible people are only teachers. They, not everyone. Like, the difference between them. Oh, although there might be some other like environmental, you can say, reasons to the differences, but here, as it's all about the Indian education system, so I would like to stick on this, that we need a gradual revolutionary change in Indian education system. The things that they are teaching over there, okay, in the books,
Sorry, Jadip, I'll have to interrupt.
they are outdated. They are
Jadip,
outdated.
I'll
They
have
are
to
not
interrupt
updated.
your time.
Mhm. I would like to end this within just 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds with the conclusion. Okay, Deepak, just give me 10, 15 seconds. Okay, yeah. So in my opinion, we need a gradual change and revolution change in this, because Indian education system is lacking in this developing world. Like, if, like, I know I visit many places, I meet a lot of people, so I come to know from where exactly this differences has come. Like, if you meet 1800 or 2000 people, you'll get to know about them. You'll get to know about 1800 2000 things, but you cannot remember everything. But the main thing I would like to end with the conclusion that Indian government must make a gradual change. They must take their baton to another level, because that's how that we are going on. I feel Japan is like, it's being said that Japan is 50 years ahead, but I would like to say it's 80 years ahead, and India is getting back. India is getting very back. Like it's going back now. India is a sleeping giant, but the day when India will realize that it's a giant, that day India will become a developed country. It won't stay in the list of the developing country. So that's all from the conclusion from my side, that we need a gradual and revolutionary change in the Indian education system. And that's all. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jaideep. So Harshal is next. I'm giving the mic to you. Harshal, make sure that your internet connection is working, because whenever I give you the mic, it takes a lot of time and it's still doing its process.
ओके गाइज आई मस्ट टेल यू कि मैं दोनों साइड से हूँ लाइक अगर अगेंस्ट वाले कुछ पॉइंट्स रखते हैं आई विल बी क्रिटिसाइजिंग दैम एंड ऑल्सो अगर फेवर वाले कुछ पॉइंट्स रखते हैं आई विल बी क्रिटिसाइजिंग दैम एंड फॉर जयदीप आई हैव अ क्वेश्चन दैट अगर इंडियन एजुकेशन सिस्टम इतना बुरा है देन many countries have chosen Mahabharat as their book to read in the schools. Like महाभारत और रामायण को क्यों लगाया गया है काफी स्कूल्स में उनके सिलेबस में एंड फिर हमारी संस्कृत से वो लोग इतने सारे श्लोक लेके एंड आई हैव लिसन दैट उन्होंने रॉकेट सिस्टम एरोप्लेन सिस्टम दे हैव डेवलप्ड फ्रॉम आवर संस्कृत पुराण्स एंड ऑल देन आई हैव अ क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम जयदेव देन वाई जो भी लोग अगेंस्ट में है कि इंडियन एजुकेशन सिस्टम इतना बुरा है देन वाई आर पीपल आर स्टीलिंग आवर थिंग्स लाइक हमारे आइडियाज हमारी संस्कृत हमारी लैंग्वेजेस महाभारत रामायण इन सबको अदर कंट्रीज के स्कूल में क्यों नेसेसरी कर दिया गया
Jaideep will answer that whenever we give him the mic. And Harshal, it's still processing. I'm not able to give you the mic. And I'm giving the mic to Pankaj now.
All right. I think I will agree with Mansi on this that our education इतना भी खराब नहीं है, right? Because and you can get this with this that out of three, out of every single person out of three in America. So we can't say that Indian
again you
education.
are
Pankaj, the
not audible
microphone.
Pankaj.
I'm not audible.
Uh, I think there's a problem with your mic. Whenever you moves it, the audio goes back.
Hello.
Yes, just don't move the mic. Yeah.
All right. So what I'm saying is हमारा education इतना भी खराब नहीं है. All right. 1 out of every 3 doctors in America is an Indian. So we can take it this way कि नहीं education is going good, but yes, there need to be changes, needs to be everything has a room for improvement. First thing I think.
Pankaj your mic
अरे फिर से आवाज नहीं आ रही.
yeah
Uh, if you can use the microphone of your device, I guess that would work. Laptop mic are pretty capable on themselves. Yes, you are audible.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
you are audible.
Yes. So I think there is more important that like talking about the more improvements. I think it's more important that we need to talk about the strength of a student. I think up to 10th when we have to choose our streams, people students don't even know about their strength. कि मैं कहाँ अच्छा कर सकता हूँ, कहाँ अच्छा नहीं कर सकता. So this is the improvement that yes that could be made, that students should get to know their strengths कि अच्छा मैं कहाँ अपनी life में better stand कर सकता हूँ, कहाँ मैं नहीं कर सकता. Secondly, talking about this, I think thinking should be changed in the education system. Why? Because most of us think that after 10th, if you will take science, that will be a good thing. If you will go into arts or commerce, that won't be a good thing. So just thinking that also needs to be changed. That Students should get to know. If you will go into arts, then you can go for a UPSC. You can opt for you. That will be helpful in UPSC. If you go into commerce, you can be a CA. So this should be. That's what I'm saying. Strength should be known to every student. They should get to know. जब तक वो 10th तक आए, उनको पता लग जाना चाहिए कि हाँ मैं कहाँ अच्छा कर सकता हूँ. Whether it would be this stream, or even it is a sports as well. That needs to be said. Talking about more education, I think, of course, we can't deny talking about the sex education as well. Sex education has not been introduced in a curriculum right now. That is really important in a country like India, and of course, we can't argue on this. What's happening? If
Pankaj, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so you said that commerce, arts and all. हमारे यहाँ क्राइटेरिया होता है कि अगर इतने परसेंटेज मार्क्स आ गए, इतने ग्रेड आ गए, देन यू कैन टेक दिस सब्जेक्ट. सो बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं दैट दे आर नॉट एबल टू परफॉर्म गुड इन देयर 10th स्टैंडर्ड बिकॉज कोई फैमिली रीजन, पर्सनल रीजन, डजंट मैटर. मे बी उनके अंदर टैलेंट इतना है बट बिकॉज ऑफ सम रीजन दे वर अनेबल टू परफॉर्म देयर बेस्ट. सो उसके बाद फिर उनके मार्क्स कम आ जाते हैं एंड जिस चीज के वो लायक है वो सब्जेक्ट वो ले ही नहीं पाते एंड आगे जाके देन पूरा फ्यूचर ऐसे स्पॉइल हो जाता है बिकॉज अगर 11th 12th तो मार्क्स ले रहे हो देन यू कैन गो टू मेडिकल थिंग्स. अगर जाते हो देन यू विल परफॉर्म रियली पुअर. सो इज इट अवर एजुकेशन सिस्टम वहां करेक्ट है कि लोगों को 10th स्टैंडर्ड के सिर्फ मार्क्स के बेसिस पे डिसाइड किया जाए दैट व्हाट सब्जेक्ट यू हैव टू टेक?
नहीं, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि ये सही है. वो तो मैं कह रहा हूँ ये बिल्कुल गलत है. अगर आपको ये कहा जा रहा है कि 70% के ऊपर लाकर आप साइंस ले सकते हैं, और उससे पहले साइंस ऑल्सो हैज मेनी स्ट्रीम. साइंस इज फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, आगे जाके एआई बन जाता है, कंप्यूटर्स में आप जा सकते हैं.
बट यू वर इन फेवर ऑफ एजुकेशन सिस्टम.
Yes, I said I am in a favor of gradual change. I'm not saying कि I'm in a favor of only कि नहीं हो जो चल रहा है. I'm in favor of gradual change. I'm not in a favor कि अभी से एकदम पूरा हटा दो and change it from the ground level, पूरा नींव से. नहीं, I'm not in that favor. Gradual change is important. And yes, if I'm good in physics, I'm not good in chemistry. So students should get a chance that अच्छा ठीक है, you can opt for a physics. You can opt for C++. So many education system that needs to be done. That's what I'm saying. The student should get to know कि what is my strength. 10th क्लास तक ऐसा एजुकेशन सिस्टम होना चाहिए कि उसको पता लग जाए कि हाँ मैं कंप्यूटर में अच्छा हूँ, या मैं क्रिकेट में अच्छा हूँ, या मैं बायोलॉजी में अच्छा हूँ, या मैं किस में अच्छा हूँ. And this is what students are not get to decide. बाद में पेरेंट्स बोलते हैं कि नहीं बेटा साइंस लेगा तो इंजीनियरिंग करने मिलेगी, इंजीनियरिंग के बाद बहुत सारे स्कोप खुल जाते हैं. So this is the thinking कि साइंस के बाद साइंस में वो मतलब अच्छा, कॉमर्स में मतलब पता नहीं, आर्ट्स का मतलब तो वही हुए, फिर तो वही जिंदगी. This is what I'm thinking. Secondly, gender neutral education. Gender neutral education is also important. See, girls are not getting into mechanical engineering. Why? Because the mind में बैठा हुआ है. Girls are not meant for mechanical engineering. They are meant for computer in C++. Right? So this is also needs to be changed. That girls even like boys can't do this interior designing or fashion technology. जिसका जो इंटरेस्ट है वो कर सकता है. So that's why I think education should be more towards के आपका thinking that gender neutral thinking that also be maintained in education system. Secondly, infrastructure. See, I think before this, I'm not getting his name. Sorry. He talked about the infrastructure of a public school and government school. Yes, government school needs to have more infrastructure. By infrastructure, I'm not saying about the good buildings and everything. No, that's not important. What important is to have a good laboratory, a good environment, a cleanliness for students, so that they could at least learn about the social attributes while they getting educated. Secondly, yes, like Mansi talked about books learner history. Like we are forgetting the language, Sanskrit language, Hindi language. We are forgetting. Students are not taught because of the globalization. We think कि नहीं यार, English is very important. Getting into this important. But students are not getting into Sanskrit. While learning Sanskrit can get you can earn you good money in foreign as well. So that still needs to be changed about. In education system. So I think yes, gradual change needs to be done, and it will be done with time if we get to it. So yeah, that's what we have, and not just government have to think about it. The more of the thing which I talked about, that doesn't even relate to government. Honestly, just strength को छोड़ के थिंकिंग हम चेंज करेंगे, पेरेंट्स थिंक करेंगे, हम ब्रदर सिस्टर चेंज करेंगे। अगर आप मेरा दोस्त, मैं आपकी थिंकिंग चेंज, इट्स अबाउट अस, इट्स नॉट इवन अबाउट अ गवर्नमेंट एवरीथिंग। यू कांट पुट ऑन अ शोल्डर ऑफ गवर्नमेंट कि नहीं आप ऐसा करो। अगर आप लड़की हो तो मेरी जिम्मेवारी बनती है टू टेल यू नहीं, इन मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग यू कैन डू गुड फॉर योर लाइफ एज वेल। This is my responsibility. This is my responsibility to talk about the gender neutral education, sex education. It's my responsibility. Being a teacher, it's my responsibility. Talking about teacher, it's my responsibility. So this is needs to be done. You can give mic to someone as I'm talking.
Uh,
Sorry.
all right, thank you, Pankaj. I'm giving the mic to Jaideep now because he is in next. He has given a lot of answers to your questions, Mansvi, in the chat section.
Yeah, hi. I was referring. I was because I was jotting it down. I referred to the questions I answered. Like I guess I have specifically answered you for all of your questions. I would like to include one more thing in this. That this situation in state-funded institutions is very bad. Okay, like I'm talking about public universities, like government in government schools. I have observed, like I have been to Indian government schools also, including like visiting other countries' government schools, and I would like to include there are a lot of things that could have been done by now in India, in Indian schools for the Indian students. There are a lot of things that could have been done by now, but nothing has been done. That's the main problem. That's the main problem. Although we cannot do anything in this because it's the government. Doesn't matter which government it is. Government always acts like a catalyst, like in every country. It's the same thing in everywhere because India is the first biggest democratic country. And second thing I would like to include, only the poor should be, like only the poor people who do not have or who do not have the access to get education. Or just give me a moment, please. I'll be going for a couple of seconds because I need to charge my laptop. Just give me a moment, please, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, Jaideep.
Yes.
You said that on the basis of our historical books, we can get any job today. But then why people said that Krishna is considered as the management guru all over the world, and like Jeff Bezos and Warren Hastings, like इतने बड़े बड़े लोग, ये लोग कहते हैं Ambani, you know, Tata and Ambani, you must know them. And they prefer that you should read Gita for learning management. You should prefer that Krishna is the management guru of the world. They consider that Mahabharata and Gita is the key to your success because you get those things into. If you get those things into your life, you can change your life. They has the morals. Like अगर ये चीजें हमें इतना नॉलेज नहीं दे सकती कि हम जॉब लें, तब तो स्कूल भी provided a job, but they can provide us only knowledge. And there's the thing our historical books are doing. अगर तुम सीखना चाहते, you said कि मैंने देखा कि you said that in school I was there and मैंने उनकी story देखी. It was about Babel. You can also take some thing from the story. बस लेना आना चाहिए. You should be the grabbing person जिसे कूड़े में से भी सोना निकालना आता, like that. So हमारी जो stories है, they are all about morals. अगर तुम्हें life को morals and management आते, then you can do anything. लोगों ने सिर्फ management skills के ऊपर अपने empire खड़े किया.
Who are those people? Give me one single live example because I'm doing you talk as you talked about management. I'm doing PhD in management science only, so I visit a lot of places. So I'm studying that niche area. So what are who are the live examples of implementing Gita or Mahabharata in their real life and who have succeeded? Who are the real? See, talking about I would like to include one more thing as you mentioned it in your question or like statement. People, you said Tatas or Manis or like okay, anyone. If once you become a philanthropist, you can say anything and it will become the truth. Okay, you can just say anything, but I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the stats. I'm looking at the real thing that who are those people who can actually say that we have implemented this book into our this business and we have become this. See, I was in India for like around 20 years. Then after, no, not 20 years, more than 20 years. Okay, I grew up there, everything there. I studied in CBSE and everything. Why wasn't I told by now that you should read Gita or Mahabharata if you want to be a management guru? Why I was always told by the teachers or everyone that this is a study module, you have to follow a study module till you have to like graduate or something. If we go to class 1 to class 2, class 2 to class 3, we always have a study module. Okay, we always have a protocol, a specific course that we have to follow for us to gain specific thing. So I want to know how exactly I can get knowledge from Gita or Mahabharata about management. I'm asking you this question to you. Like, how can I,
Have you read Gita ever?
how can I leave my
Have you
another
read
book? How
Gita
can
ever,
I?
Jaideep?
Um, let me
Have you
complete.
read Gita ever?
Let me complete first, please.
Okay.
I'm
No, you
asking
was
like.
asking. You was asking कि Gita Mahabharat पढ़ने से हम this books will be helping you. But I'm asking you, have you ever read that? Have you ever talked to any person who has read that? Because yeah, you was asking about the name Dr. Vivek Binda. He's not a small personality. He mentioned that Gita is must for you. Many
Mhm.
great personalities are there. They mentioned that our Prime Minister Modi, he's not a small person. Even if he's not a business
Uh,
person, he's
he's a
not
small talk.
left in management.
He's a big talk
He's
guy.
running
He's
that.
not. He's a big talk guy, nothing else. He's a big mouth. That's it. It's okay. So yeah, about Gita. Yes, my mother reads Gita. She has. I have. They have told me, like a lot of people have told me to read Gita, but they have told me from the perspective of Indians, for what exactly they mean. Why do people read Gita? Why do? So that they get a piece, or like it's not about they get some knowledge or something, or they get something like that. People read
No, it
Gita.
totally depends on your view. Why are you reading that? Because
Guys,
Indians around
Let
India
me
say,
complete.
I think we
It's
are diverting from the topic. It's not about Gita, it's about education system.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
sorry.
I was answering to, but let me finish myself first because I was in. You didn't let me finish earlier also. So that answer is still incomplete by now. So yeah, I was telling you. We will come to Gita later on. Yeah, a lot of people told me like this is this. You're saying right. I'm not denying it. My mother told me to read Gita. A lot of people a lot of people suggest everyone to read Gita, but I'll tell you one thing: they themselves don't know why they are suggesting. Okay, you might know why you are telling me. Uh, Lakshya might know, or Deepak might know, or anyone else might know, but not everyone knows why they are suggesting. My question was, why exactly are we getting taught in such a way when we get everything from Gita or Mahabharata? Like in schools, why don't we have Gita or Mahabharata? Why do have in commerce? Okay, I'm from medical background. Okay, but let's talk about economics and everything, from management or everything. Why don't they teach the lessons from Gita or Mahabharata? Why it is not a renown at a certain level? Why CBSE books are given much more preferences than Gita or Mahabharata? I'm asking you
I
the
must
same
tell
question.
you, I must tell you, 6th 7th क्लास हमें गीता महाभारत रामायण ही पढ़ाया जाता है. They have
Mhm.
books for us. एक बारी रामायण and then
Mhm.
second year they have Mahabharat for us.
Is Hindi literature, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So from where
Uh,
have you learned? Yeah, from where have you learned the management thing in that? From or which billionaire or millionaire have learned a thing or implemented like these things? That was my question. Because you are right at your place. You're right at your place. I'm not denying it that Gita is a good book. But again, on your second point, it depends on the view. It depends on the view. I'm not talking about the view. I'm talking about the real life over here. I'm talking about the reality over here. I'm not talking about just the philosophical things or the like just things that looks good in the bookish language. I'm talking about the real life. Like, can you do implementation of any, or can you take any methodology? Because okay, I haven't read Gita, so I'm asking you if you have read Gita. Like, what kind of methodology are being used in that? Because
that
I'm
methodology,
from the background of the management.
I'll have to interrupt again. The time is over
yeah,
now,
Okay.
it's about
and we can
education
discuss
system.
Gita in post event in the networking session. Okay. I'm giving the mic to Herschel now, and then
Mm-hmm.
Pankaj and Andrew is lined up. Harshal, it's
Hello.
again,
Hello.
yeah, you're live now.
Yeah. Uh, Good afternoon to all. So,
Yes.
yeah, I've been trying for the past hour and listening to all the different perspectives. A lot of things have been said, asked, and answered. But yeah, I'd like to say that first of all, we should start at the basic level. We've been throwing jargons. The first speaker, I don't remember his name, he said a lot of things about IoT and AI, and we are getting ahead of ourselves. I think first of all, we should get to the basic level, that what is going on in the education system up until the 10th standard. Let's just take it. Even the other person was also talking about different criteria, that 70% is necessary, or that's a thing of that's a thing to be discussed afterwards. First of all, let's go to the primary level. uh, the first speaker said that the mindset of the people has to change, not the system. But let me say that I take an analogy from science. Ecosystem comprises of trees, humans, and all of these things, all of the living things and non-living things, and vice versa. Living things constitute ecosystem. So it's a two-way process. If we say that the system doesn't need to change and only the people need to change, that's a completely wrong statement, because the people constitute the system itself. So first of all, there's that, and now let me get to like how do we how are we not changing as people, and how do we need to change? I think one of the most important things that has not been mentioned till now about the education system in India is sex education. Uh, I'd like to talk
Yeah.
at the real yeah, I'd like to talk at the real level. I myself, as I told, I'm a fresher in college, so it's quite recent to me. In the past 4 5 years, so let's see that the first chapter about sex education comes in the eighth standard. Eighth standard, the first chapter comes, and let me tell you, Karnal. Karnal is the constituent seat of the Chief Minister of Haryana, and so traditionally it should be a developed city, right? The CM doesn't choose any city to be the constituency. So yeah, it should be a developed city. But let me tell you what was the condition in my class when I was learning that chapter. The teachers, that first of all, obviously, there are the students. You're 13, 14-year old, and yeah, you're just new to this adolescence thing, and yeah, you're naughty, let's say naughty, and okay, so there's that. Okay, students are like that, but let's go to the teachers. uh, Teachers just try to, like, complete the topic as soon as they can. They read the chapter, or not even read the chapter, just complete it. And and in that chapter specifically, there's no discussion that is allowed, there's no debate that is allowed, there are no questions to be raised. So there's that, and that's the fault of the teachers and the students. And apart from that, the curriculum itself, I don't think that the sex education chapter is even half complete in the Indian textbooks. We're talking about we're talking about the basics, but we're not talking about the real things that are affecting the world right now. We're not telling our boys or girls even about sexual harassment and the things that are going on in the society. I think that should also come in the sex education chapter. So there's that. Yeah, this is about sex education what I wanted to talk about. And the next thing, yeah, I feel that apart from that, multidisciplinarism. Our education system is not multidisciplinary. Like, let me take an example. Up until 10th standard, what are the primary chapters? The primary chapters are, sorry, the primary subjects. The primary subjects are physics, chemistry, and maths. So those comprise basically of science. Then let's say social sciences, and English and Hindi for languages. Where are the new subjects that need to be that we need to have right now in the world? Like, even now we're talking on this platform. This is a platform which requires a lot of skills. Primarily, someone I saw there is a gentleman called Abhishek who is, I think, handling the technical department. So there's that thing, and other than that, we're talking in this communication skills must are a must-have. But let's focus to the English subject. Are I don't know if most of the Indian students would be honestly able to say that the English subject teaches them to how to communicate. I don't think that. The English subject mostly focus on literature, which is, yeah, just read it or not. One student of the class used to stand up, just read the chapter. It doesn't matter if 80% of the students are not understanding the English. Even you see in the 10th standards or even the higher standards, people don't know how to talk in English. In my college mates, they tell me they have some of them are from Hindi background, Hindi medium schools. So they tell me that English is a subject there, but they teach English in Hindi. I mean, that's the point even. So if you're if you're justifying teaching English in Hindi by saying that it's a Hindi medium school, that's not the point. The point of teaching English the point is the point of teaching English exactly. So that is that in the education system, and yeah, I do
Uh,
think that
Harshal, I'll have to interrupt you. 5
yeah,
minutes is over, and I'll have to take the mic from you. You can raise your hand again, and I'll give the mic to you when your turn comes.
definitely.
Okay, thank you. Uh, Andrew is next. Hey, could you just turn your camera on
How can I
if
turn?
that's
I'm
possible?
a very bad technical guy, but from where can you
Uh,
help me? Uh, yes, I got it.
yeah. So, which side of the argument are you on? Should we revamp the education system of India, or we should just let it evolve on its own?
I will be like for the change of the education system, but not completely. But there are a few changes.
Okay,
Fine.
you can
So,
start.
so let's start my argument. Nalanda University. I think most of you have heard about it. So Nalanda University was the first university which was set up in India. And India is the country where people used to migrate from miles away. At that time, we do not have any passport and such things to come and seek knowledge. It's a country of seeking knowledge. People from China, people from all the way from the world, that is, they used to migrate to India for seeking knowledge. That's why we have a huge diaspora comparing countries. First thing. So India, as such, education it has a history that is what excellent country in terms of education. Now we cannot see like a drastic and dramatic change within a day, 2, 4, 5, 6 years. We are a population of 1.3 billion. Just imagine. So the education system has been going on through since for many years from now. You cannot see drastic dramatic change in education system in 2 days or 3 days or 5 years. It will take a gradual passage of time for a change. Next thing, like all the entrepreneurs, all the successful people have not done their education from foreign universities. They have studied in India, they built up in India, and very few handful of people they went to foreign universities out for doing something which is gap between what they want to aspire, which they could not find in India, and then they aspire. They go foreign, do some such courses from foreign universities. Now, with the passage of time, India also have developed. Now, you do not need to go to foreign universities. If there is any gap, then it's required. We have a prestigious universities in India like IIT, IIM, wherein like people from foreign countries, in fact, they come to India and they study here, they develop, they go back to their own country and implement there. Now, what is required? We everything is very much available here. Now, what is required? The methodology of teaching The methodology of like conventional methodology, those need to be changed. You cannot have the same perception, same thought pattern, same way of doing when there is a huge change in in the generation. Now teachers particularly, now in earlier days, like teachers, they just read and go back and they teach to the students. Now students are, now we live in information age, we should not forget that every student, they have an access to library in their phone itself. So the teacher also do much of the hard work nowadays. Not only the students, they have to do the hard work. The teachers have to be well equipped with their knowledge. The teachers has to undergo with a teachers training program. The teachers have to also take this kind of responsibility, which perhaps is missing in current education system. I'll not say 100%, but there are. But if I talk about the ratio, I think 70-80% of the education system wherein this teacher reform is required. We do not need to change the books. We do not need to change the history. We do not need to change anything. Everything is there, but we need to change the methodology of teaching and also equipping the teacher itself, not putting all the burdens on the student itself. Now, the other thing which takes me again changing perspective is again like we should in foreign universities where they are have specialized. If a student is interested in one particular field, the students can go in that particular field. Now we need to also change some of the curriculums of the education system. We cannot stick with what's happening since so many years from now. Look, there is a huge generation gap, huge generation gap. You are also still practicing the same thing, the what we are practicing 60, 70 years back. And now in the education system, what is there? There's a gimmick. You're trying to put up those kind of burdens on the students, which is not required as such. You are putting a lot of projects and don't put them lot of giving them projects and all. Just try to ease them. Just try to give them what they can digest, and just try to ensure that even you as a teacher can impart and have to the students the right way of education. Now that game, like the whatever your guru or your teacher says, 100% you have to agree. Those things have gone, because if we live in information, as I said in the outset, you cannot play up with the students. So you as a teacher, you also have a responsibility. And student, because psychologically student at the age of 14, they don't know what they're reading or writing. They learn subconsciously. So students should also have, like, they should broaden, teachers particularly, they should broaden their knowledge, their how to teach the students so that their knowledge can be broadened up and can be seen in that particular manner. So now the whole responsibility what has been put up, what I'm trying to say here is like education system, there need be some reformation is required. Not the education system itself is a flaw. We do not need to go to the foreign universities. Earlier it was required because there was some gap, as I said in the outset. But there are many prestigious universities as such out in India that can be adopted. Now, Gita, all right? One of the argument I was hearing out about Gita. Well, there are something we can take away from Gita, and something we can.
Andrew,
Yes,
I'll have to interrupt you as the
yeah.
5 minutes time limit is over.
Can I take 10 seconds to complete it? 10 seconds.
Sure.
Okay. From Gita, one thing you can take is like the knowledge between shared within Arjuna and Krishna. What if you are a teacher, how you can impart a knowledge to the students? That's the key message which we can implement in the education system, but not hold the management's thing. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Harshal, I'm giving you the mic now.
Hello. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. So, continuing with my previous point, now first of all, I'd like to make a point about that the new subjects I mentioned. So in today's world, we see like let me say I identify as a philomath who's a lover of learning. So I look up a lot of things. I look up different things, and I see in today's online platform there are the courses for content writer. There are different new streams that could not even be imagined even a few years back. So why the same curriculum is being followed for decades? Uh, like I mentioned in English subject, why the same pattern? Why the same that you have to write a passage, that you have to write a story? Why not you have to comedy writing? Comedy writing is one of the hardest things that, as everyone says, that it's easier to make someone cry. It's difficult to make someone laugh. Why are we not like inspiring our students to take up comedy writing, to write something funny, and to write something funny and not be crass, not be vulgar, not use slangs? That's a real challenge. There the left portion of the brain really works. You really creatively engage with that, and when you come up with something good, it's always best for everyone. The people laugh. There's a release of hormones, and that's the primary thing we need right now. Right now, we need laughter, we need happiness, we need empathy. Continuing with empathy, I would like to slide into the other thing, that moral education. Where is the moral education? I only had a subject of moral education in the 8th standard, and that also, as I mentioned in English, the one student gets up, reads the chapter. Doesn't matter if anybody is getting the moral of the story or not. Doesn't matter. It's just what we say, ratification and all that. That has to change. Moral education is not a theory subject. You don't need to teach chapters. You need you need most of the subjects we need to introduce are the most of the subjects that need to go practical. We are basing a lot of on theory. I regularly say my mother is a teacher, and I say to her that why don't you do something in your school? Why don't you tell your principal to do this thing? So what quote I regularly use is that let them try, don't tell them. Try and don't tell. So if the students are trying these things themselves practically, then they have the knowledge, and you don't need to tell them. And if you're telling them, that's the spoon feeding which has been going on for decades. And yeah, and now I'd like to come to the other point. We were talking about Gita, uh, Ramayana, and I'd like to also mention Bible, which is one of the most popular. Like, so, I'd say that these are religious texts. These are religious texts that should not be mandatory in education system. And I'd like to debate this with anybody, because let me quote a few examples. In Bible, there are many verses that state things that are not acceptable in today's world. In Bible, there's a verse that states that the women who are menstruating are impure. Men should not touch them. That's just plain unacceptable in today's world. So I think in religious texts definitely should not be mandatory in the education system, because first of all, there's the obvious reason that it will incite communism, and all those things. And the other reason is this, that science is the thing that if you question science, it will give you the answer. It may not give you the right answer. It may not have the right answer even. Right answer may still be being researched upon. It may be decades, it may be years to come upon the right answer. But if you question religious texts, there's nobody to answer you. If you question the writer of the Bible or the followers of the Bible, that why is this mentioned? Why is this an acceptable thing? The verse I mentioned. So there will be nobody to answer it, and that's why I think that religious texts definitely should not be mandatory.
Uh, All right, Harshal. I'll have to take the mic now. The time is over. Those were really good points, and I'm giving the mic to Pankaj now. Thank you, Harshal.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey, Pankaj.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would be quick with this. Really, a very. I think after over Harshit, I agree with one point of his and disagree with one point of his. I fully agree with him about one point he talked about. That we can use use writing tell students to write comics related issues rather than writing essays. So I think because we need to try futuristic ways in education, right? I think like students are writing, in some comedy genre or in some drama. Like the students it would be a challenge for them, right? And that's how they're gonna learn more about it. And writing essays and letters, I mean, जरूरत नहीं है उसकी. And more talking about English grammar. I mean, English is just a language that needs to be learned. English, it's just a language so that we can communicate with. Why? Just because it's a time of globalization, we need to talk with Americans, we need to talk to the Indian people, we need to talk to the Chinese. That's all the resemblance of English. Nothing more than that. So there's no need of learning, putting so much effort into grammar and everything. कि नहीं करोगे तो होगा नहीं. That's not important first of all. So we need to type futuristic ways. Second thing, students are not getting to read about current affairs. Why not? I mean, at time of assembly, when we have assembly, I think one student should get up every new student. Every new student should get up on stage and tell at least 5 news. अखबार पढ़ के newspaper पढ़ के. This is a futuristic.
You are not clear, Pankaj. I mean, your audible is not clear. Your audio is not clear.
बाकी सबको आ रही है आपकी या मानसी को जी कोई नहीं आ रही है. आपका म्यूट है. You're म्यूट है.
पहले से बेटर है बट बीच में डिस्टरबेंस आ जाती है for few seconds.
So so I was talking about the futuristic ways in an education, like about the current affairs wala point, that one student should get up on stage every day and tell 5 news rozana. By this student will get in their inheritance ki yaar hame we should give time to newspaper. Should a normal person starts to read newspaper when he's preparing for government examination. Most of us right now, I do read newspaper every day because it's necessary for me to prepare for government exam. But most of you won't even be reading newspaper. I mean, don't take me wrong way, but that's the truth. Most of people are not even reading newspaper. Why? It's very important for us to know about the things happening globally around us. So it is important. The newspaper is important. Why? Because we don't have it in our mind. We don't have it in our activity to read newspaper. And this thing needs to be teach to our children. And I think, and there's one more point that is raised about there's a lot of discussion on this Gita Mahabharata. First of all, I read Gita in this lockdown. All right, I read Chanakya Niti in this lockdown. So see, every religious text and like social, there's two type of education: social education and there's education that will get me money. So social education is very important, very very very, and that is the point I don't agree with Harshit. Social education is very very important. Why? Because it talks about to be a good person, and I think being a good person is very important and earning money first of all. See, and it talks about it teaches us nothing. लड़कियों की इज्जत करना, ये कहाँ किसने सिखाया? मैं टीचर में था, किसी किताब में तो नहीं लिखा था, ये हिस्ट्री की किताब में ऐसा लिखा था नहीं, किसी इंग्लिश की किताब में ऐसा लिखा था नहीं. ये हमें we learned it from somewhere from our religious texts only. महाभारत में लिखा है कि लड़की की इज्जत करोगे तो नहीं करोगे तो महाभारत जैसा युद्ध होगा. So I'm not saying कि मैं इसको point out नहीं कर रहा. What I'm saying is there is social education and there is education that will get me money. Social education is very important, but yes, that will not get me money. ये भी मैं मानता हूँ. See, social education is up to the point कि ठीक है 8th 9th तक बच्चों को पता होना चाहिए, हाँ पढ़ो ताकि you should grow up to be a good person कि नहीं मेरा एक like गीता talk about the कर्म सबसे ऊपर है, आपके धर्म से ऊपर आपका धर्म क्या है, आपका धर्म कर्म है. What you do is a karma, is a karma. So ये इम्पोर्टेंट है, एक बच्चे को ये समझ आएगा कि नहीं, मैं जो कर्म करूंगा, मैं अपने देश के लिए जो कर्म करूंगा, मैं अपने दोस्तों के लिए जो कर्म करूंगा, वो सबसे ऊपर है, क्योंकि उससे लोग मुझे जानेंगे. See, this is the social education that the student is getting right now. And this is not getting into history. ये हिस्ट्री की किताब से नहीं मिलेगा आपको, ये आपको इंग्लिश की बुक में से नहीं मिलेगा, ये आपको सोशल बुक में से मिलेगा. सो इसीलिए सोशल बुक इम्पोर्टेंट है. लेकिन अब सोशल एजुकेशन आप बोलोगे नहीं, आप 12th के बाद महाभारत पढ़ो, नहीं, इट्स नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट. मैं 12th के बाद
Pankaj, I'll have to interrupt you.
30 seconds please. See, 12th के बाद में अगर महाभारत पढ़ूंगा तो मुझे तो 12th में पाइथन पढ़ना है ना, क्योंकि अगर मैं पाइथन पढ़ूंगा, सी प्लस पढ़ूंगा, तब मुझे गूगल में नौकरी मिलेगी. लेकिन रामायण और महाभारत पढ़ के मुझे गूगल में नौकरी नहीं मिलेगी. So therefore, social education and education that gets me money. So both are important on their own part. See, it's just like कि देखो, मुझे न्यूक्लियर बम बनाना है, it is important for me. लेकिन सोशल एजुकेशन मुझे सिखाएगा कि मैं जो न्यूक्लियर चाहिए या नहीं बोलना चाहिए, राइट? लेकिन न्यूक्लियर बम बनाना मुझे महाभारत नहीं सिखाएगा, मुझे न्यूक्लियर बम बनाना और गीता नहीं सिखाएगी, लेकिन गीता मुझे ये सिखाएगी कि मुझे वो बम फोड़ना चाहिए या नहीं फोड़ना चाहिए. Getting much as a simple. So both education are important on that part. So that's all I have to say. You can give mic to someone else.
Thank you, Pankaj. We are taking the last speaker, Harshal, and after this, we'll meet backstage. Not backstage, in the social lounge. We can talk to each other on networking tables. So stay for that, and I'm giving the mic to the last speaker, Harshal. Being provided, but we'll wait for a few more seconds. All right, is there anyone else who would like to give out some points? Harshal, I'm not able to give you the mic, so I'm providing it to Andrew.
Hi, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, sex education, moral education. Now, sex education is like way ahead. Talk about the fundamentals now. We are very lagging behind to talk about these things and all. Now, moral education does not particularly comes from from the school itself or from the college, but it also comes from your home that we all know. Moving on to the third point is the religious books, the religious thing. Can it be inclusion part of the curriculum of the schools itself? No, because it will certainly tarnish, it will certainly damage the social fabric which has been imbibed in our Constitution of India. So, therefore, it should not be part of the school's text or any curriculum, because religion, oh, it is a good thing. It is good to have about the introspection of self cleansing, more thinking, opening new doors, new opening for the mind itself, being seekers, but we should not club with the education itself. Now, the reason being because we have experience in the past, in the current, and in the future might be religion is a source where most of the people who turn up to be a fundamentalists who become a bigot, they could not accept the other sect. And children who are at till the age of subconsciously they learn these things and all, they just become one-sided, either a right wing or left winger. So religious texts should not be part of the curriculum. It should be kept aside, but there is no harm. I mean, really, reading books and reading, knowing about the history, about your culture, about the roadways or mapways, what you follow. I read all the books. I want to know more about the, I'm so curious about the other religions and all. It's better if you belong to one sect, you should have, those kind of curiosity to know about the other sect as well, so that you have better understanding what and how the other people follow. But let's not, tarnish, or let's not, you know come I mean inculcate or incorporate these two different entities, religion and education. These are absolute different entities. We should not claim, we should not club it, because it will certainly damage the social fabric of our country, and that's the beauty of this particular country. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Moderator.
So sorry. Thank you so much for being part of the debate, guys. We'll discuss the conclusions on the networking tables. It's much more convenient there. And I'm sharing a feedback of the link of a feedback form. Please fill that up. If you have any feedbacks or things we need to improve on, it's really crucial for us to we're constantly working to give you the best experience, guys. And please fill this form, and I'll see you at the back of the stage.